Hey guys, my name's Dee, this is Heroine's Corner. Welcome back to my channel. And today I wanted to talk about how black books aren't always for black readers. So I guess it's time to make this video again because I kind of made a similar video like this last year when I was talking about anti-racism books and how they are slightly problematic in a lot of different areas. And I'm making another video like this because apparently it's not just anti-racism books that are like problematic, like of course, but let's talk about just some of these new books written by black authors that are coming out or that have came out in the past kind of couple of months, and let's talk about them because they are not written for black audiences. It's hard to say that, you know what I mean? It's hard to say that with your whole chest, like, okay, like this book written by a black person isn't for black readers, but like, am I wrong? I'm not going to like name names, but to be honest, if you follow like black readers, black, you know, booktubers, bookstagrammers, if you're on like Twitter and you follow black readers and stuff like that, this has been a topic that is talked about quite a lot. So like, if this is the first time you bringing it up, then maybe you should kind of try and diversify where you're getting like your reading bookish content from. But anyway, yeah, a lot of these books coming out are not written for black people, and it's so funny because these will be the books that are marketed the most. Like, they get the most marketing out of all the other diverse books that are coming out. Is these books that are very weirdly anti-black that are being marketed the most, and it's just kind of confusing, and it's kind of like almost insulting that like these are the books that publishing wants to be putting out. Just disclaimer, this is just my opinion, of course, and like I'm not like attacking these authors or like these books. Some people like these books, and it's not like I absolutely hate some of the books I'm talking about, but it's more the fact that I recognize that it's kind of problematic that these other books are being like shoved in front of our faces, and they have such weird anti-black tangents and like through lines in them. It's just very weird. So let's reel it back a bit. Let's talk about why I didn't like anti-racism books. The reason why I didn't like anti-racism books, and also like I was a bit uneasy, or like I felt like I was getting a bit tired of like identity books, was because for the most part I felt like they were for white readers, and the topics that we were talking about were just kind of like for white readers, and the things they were centering were for white readers, and it wasn't for black audiences like at all. And I just felt it got a bit boring, and it got a bit tiresome, and it got a bit annoying that these were the books that were being always talked about when it was just so very clear that publishing published these books not for black people but for white people. So just go and watch that video if you want more of my in-depth thoughts about that topic. And then there's now been like a kidlit conversation coming about firstly about the role that race plays in these books, and about how whiteness is centered sometimes in kidlit. I'll refer you to a video by Woman of Color Reader. She did a whole fantastic video about kidlit and about some of the problems that are in kidlit now, surrounding like race and racism and like activism like in kidlit. Like, she did a fantastic video. Like, please go and look at that video. So I won't really get into kidlit there, but I have touched on that in like some of my other videos. But yeah, just go watch Woman Color's video because I feel like she talks about a lot of the topics like really well, and I won't get into it in this video. I just want to have like a broader conversation about like adult fiction is it feels like sometimes I'm getting gaslit by like adult fiction. You see these books coming out and they're being praised to high heaven, and you're like, oh my god, this must be good, like this must be like amazing, like this is the it book. And then you go read the book and you're just like weirdly like disturbed, almost disgusted, like and I'm not just talking about the slave narratives here, and that's like the kind of different thing that's been going on. Like, it's not just the slave narratives that are just like weird like anymore. It now we just talk about like contemporary stories that seem to have a necessary arc of like racism, or it's not even racism really in adult fiction, it's more like anti-blackness. And it's so unfortunate because I feel like it just drags down the book so much, especially when it's like very clear that these anti-black things that are going on, the anti-blackness in the book, like it really just doesn't get addressed. It's almost like, oh, and that's it. And do you know what I mean? And because it's written by a black author, it's almost like it's being like certified, like, oh, this is okay to put in the book because it's written by a black author. And I'm not saying that you cannot put anti-blackness in a book or make it a part of the narrative or make it a part of the story. You can do that, but like, there's a difference. If you read black literature, especially recent black literature, there is a difference between that being done well and that just being done in a really weird way. And I say weird because you can't really, it almost makes it easier. It always makes me like pause. And I don't know if what I'm feeling towards that aspect of a book, if it's like justified or if it's not justified, or if I'm being just like unfairly critical, like what am I expecting, like I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure this happens in like, you know, Asian literature or like just other marginalized racial identities, like those groups of literature, but I mainly like read like black literature, so that's what I'm speaking on. And I kind of want to know if more people feel like this too, because I know on Twitter these discussions do happen. I guess I'm also just doing this video for like any white readers, like if they're aware of this distinction that I see in black literature, and if they're aware of it, and like when they're talking about specific books and encouraging people to read specific books, do you understand some of the problematic aspects that black readers have with those books? It's a whole kind of conversation that we need to be having. And that's why I think like last year when I was reading adult fiction, I started to just get really fatigued by it, because I could identify these things that just kept coming up. And it kind of made me feel like, well, is this what the black literature space is when it comes to adult fiction? Is this all that publishing has to offer or publishing wants to push? Yeah, like, I don't know, it's just very interesting what books get pushed by the publishers and what books do not get pushed by the publishers. And it kind of comes down to like publishing just being like a very white industry, so they're going to market the books that are white gazy, that like catered to them, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Like, what the hell is actually going on with publishing sometimes? Like, I don't know. I think when I first started to read adult fiction, I was just happy that I was reading books with like black characters in and they were the main characters. So like these problems I didn't really see or didn't really like acknowledge. And so now that I've been like reading adult fiction consistently, I can start being more critical and more intentional with the books I'm picking up and the books I'm talking about. Am I just rambling? Of course I'm rambling. I always ramble on my channel, but it's a very, very specific issue when it comes to black literature, and I kind of don't know why this issue exists, because if we are being so, you know, pro-black and we love black joy and black love and all these different things, those labels are like slightly becoming slightly like problematic in their own way anyway. But like if we're promoting all these like, you know, happy narratives, why are the books are always being pushed like anti-black? You tell me. I want to reaffirm that this is not all the new releases that are coming out. You know what I mean? There have been some fantastic new releases that have been coming out in the past, like, you know, year, 2 years, 3 years, are really good. They tackle the full spectrum of what it means to be black and all those emotions and all those experiences. But I'm just recognizing that some of the ones that are being talked about, some of the new releases that are being talked about a lot, and are getting the marketing budgets, and are getting all of this kind of attention, I don't feel like those are the books that we need to be pushing. You know what I mean? This is from a very subjective point of view. I can you know, accept that this is a very subjective point of view, because some people really like these books, including black readers. You know what I mean? I'm not just saying that only white readers like these books. Like black readers like these books too. I just guess, as always, it's going to just come down to the individual choices that readers are making when it comes to picking up certain books. Because what really needs to happen is like an overhaul in the publishing industry, but a lot of people have been waiting on that for a while now, so I'm not going to just like rely on that happening. But just me personally, I'm just making sure I'm just always so intentional with the books I'm talking about and the books I'm reading, because some of these books are just not for us. They're not good for us, and I don't know why they are being pushed so heavily by publishing. I guess I'm just critical. Like every time I'm picking up a Black book now, I'm at the forefront of my mind, I'm always thinking, is this for Black readers? And does this center Blackness? Not in a way that it needs to center, like, be talking about race or racial issues and just stuff like that. Just, does it center just Black humanity? Does it do that? That was a ramble, guys. Please let me know down below if you agree with me, if you're seeing similar issues with me when it comes to adult fiction and it comes to kind of like the anti-Blackness that are sometimes in these adult fiction books, and whether it feels kind of weirdly like exploitative or just like odd, or do you feel uneasy? Like, am I making sense here? Like, when you read these books, do you get where I'm coming from? I don't know. I might just be weird, but I also don't want to be like gaslit, because I'm seeing something and I know other people talking about seeing the same thing. So I'm not crazy, but like, am I making a mountain over a molehill? We don't know. But yeah, please just let me know your thoughts down below about this topic in general, and please remember to follow me on Twitter, like this video, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon on another video soon. Bye.